My name is Kate. I am finishing my last semester here at USD before I go into grad school for clinical social work.
I'm Grace. I'm originally from Colorado. I did my undergrad degree in Wyoming, and I am a OT student at the University of South Dakota.
I'm Steve. I am also from Colorado originally, then moved up to Wyoming where I met my wife. I am a vendor for Frito-Lay at the moment, working while my lovely wife goes to school.
I started prioritizing my faith in college. I was on the USD dance team, and I had a friend named Natalie who was like, hey, you want to come to Sioux City with me for the night? We're going to go to Sunnybrook, and I have somebody I want to introduce you to. And that fine gentleman was Jake Thurston. And from there, I just really started prioritizing it because of how open about my past I was with Jake, which is something I had never really done before.
My kind of following Jesus story is very long. I grew up Catholic and kind of just ventured away from it throughout high school. I met Steve and his family, and they were very strongly Christian, so it kind of like gave me an opportunity to get back into it. So we've been together for 4 years, so I'd say I kind of started learning more about Jesus and who he is about 4 years ago, but I'd say 3.5 years ago was when I really started to believe myself, and I actually recently got baptized at Resilient.
So that was kind of cool, and then from there I just kind of joined on with like the leadership team, and then helping them plant, and then serving, and then eventually I got baptized because I was like, I am ready to commit the rest of my life to this. It was really important.
I was initially saved when I was about 7 or 8. I didn't really understand it until a lot later in life, and I went my own way for a long time and didn't really submit to the Lord or anything like that until about 2019, after my friend Corbin passed away. It kind of brought me to rock bottom. Had some really good people in my life and some really good godly men that helped me find my faith and helped me find hope in Christ. And then about a year after that, I met my lovely wife, and we've been together ever since.
I was baptized as a baby, but I kind of grew up in a holiday Christian home, so you only go on holidays. So got baptized less than a year ago, and since then, you know, I'm just really prioritizing my faith in everything I do and integrating it into all my relationships.
We got married in August of 2021, and in May of 2022, we decided that we were ready to have a baby. We kind of went through the whole process, tracking cycles, changing diets, getting off birth control, all the fun stuff that goes with that. We knew that Steve had an accident in high school that could have potentially affected his fertility. We weren't 100% sure. We didn't have a for sure answer. So we kind of went into it expecting that it would take us like 2 or 3 months to have a baby.
So in October of 2023, I was having some health problems, some issues I was noticing with myself, and so I decided to make a doctor's appointment, and doctors were very concerned to the point that I had to have surgery about a month later to correct this issue. Recovery was really hard. I couldn't move really at all. I had to lay down at all times for 2 weeks. I couldn't really speak because I was in a lot of pain, and it was really hard, you know. But I knew it was going to get better amidst kind of struggling to recover and just, you know, being emotional because I'm a social creature, and I couldn't do that because I couldn't really move. I couldn't go on walks, and I couldn't get coffee with people because I couldn't talk to people, so it was really hard.
We were trying for like 1.5 years before we kind of decided to just give up on it. Now we're currently expecting our first baby, but 1.5 years of trying to decide if we go to a doctor and see if the doctor has anything to say. And I know for me personally, it was hard because I kind of had this like lack of trust in the Lord, even though I was saved. Waiting so long, it kind of felt like we were being forgotten.
And then I get a notification that I have a new test result in, and I find out that I have an adult onset cancer-causing genetic mutation that is unrelated to the cancer that I had as a baby. And this was really It was extremely hard for me. I had grown up, I was a cancer survivor, and so doctors always told me, like, you're in remission, you're not gonna have cancer again, but because you were so little, there will be issues that come up as you grow, so we will treat those as they come. And I had to change my mindset to now, the rest of my life, I am going to be struggling with I have a very high probability of getting multiple types of cancers starting at the age of 25.
And I just wasn't really trusting in him, and it kind of like hurt just to know like there's people out there that are having babies that are abandoning them and aren't taking care of their kids, and we wanted so bad to have a kid, but we couldn't have a kid, and we were trying so hard and nothing we would do would work. And so I personally struggled really hard because I felt abandoned by the Lord. And I felt like in that year and a half, it either could have broke me down or it could have broke our marriage very severely.
And I did not turn away from my faith by any means, but I just brought my emotions to God. And these emotions, they were anger, they were sadness. Like, why beat a dead horse? Like, I have already been through so much in my life, countless surgeries. I've already overcame cancer once. Like, why do I have to live the rest of my life in fear of getting cancer again? And why am I having to get my ovaries removed by the time I'm 30? And why am I having to already have 6 months check-in for all of these different types of things? Like, that is not what I envisioned with my life at all, and now that is my reality.
Yeah, and like Grace said, I got injured in high school, and I got told by a doctor that it was likely I was infertile. And that was about 2.5 years before I met Grace. And so I had kind of thought I had dealt with a lot of the emotions of, feeling like I failed my future spouse or being down on myself, and like it was always a dream of mine to be a dad. And so being told I couldn't do that really I didn't deal with it well at first. And so having that come back to the forefront of like our stuff and what we were going through, it kind of brought up the same emotions again, and it brought up the same insecurities and fears.
I was crying one night, talking to God in anger and sadness and fear. And I get this text message from a close spiritual friend of mine with a Bible verse in it. And it was Psalm 73:26 that says, "My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever." And that was just what I needed to remind myself that God does not give you trials that you cannot handle. God pours His love into you. He does not intend to harm me, and He doesn't want to see me suffer. And while I have a horrible health record, God is on my side. He is standing right next to me. He is in front of me, protecting me from everything that comes my way.
We really leaned into each other and learned how to communicate, and that's really when my praying life took off, because I decided that I was angry, and instead of being angry, just letting it bottle up, then I was going to talk to the Lord about it. So I really started praying a lot about it, and we were talking a lot about it, and I think we finally came just at peace with it, and it really taught me to lean into the Lord and to trust Him, and mostly to rely that His plan is the plan that is best and not our plan.
By that point, I was a lot stronger in my faith. Had my amazing wife that was helping me learn how to combat my insecurities and my fears a lot, and find my identity in the Lord instead of who I wanted to be and who I was trying to be. Instead of relying on my own measures and my own plan that I thought I had for my life, took a lot of prayer and talk with each other and crying with each other of just coming to the point that, God, it's in your hands.
And I think, this is something I'm going to deal with the rest of my life. I'm not in fear. I am going to do what I need to do to live the life that God intends for me, and then when my time does come, I know that I'll be ready for God.
It probably feels like just complete darkness, and it's really hard, and I'm sure it feels like, where is God? Is he even here?
I'm not meant to suffer on my own. I'm not meant to do life on my own. I have a loving Christian community and God who are there with me whenever I need them.
There will come a day again where you realize this is where God was. He didn't abandon me. He wasn't leaving me alone. He was just setting me up for where I needed to be.